All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to break down a pretty wild vision for the future of money. And it all comes from one of the biggest, most vocal proponents out there, Michael Saylor. You're watching the One-Eyed Monkey channel, where tech, gadgets, and Bitcoin collide. So let's get right to the heart of what's driving this entire thesis. Okay, so everything, and I mean everything we're about to cover, really boils down to this one core concept. See, Michael Saylor doesn't look at Bitcoin as just a currency or an asset. No. In his mind, it's a fundamental force, a technological leap he believes is just as profound as anything else we've ever discovered. And to really get what he means, you have to zoom way, way out on the timeline of human history. I mean, think about the big ones, the discoveries that changed absolutely everything. Fire gave us warmth and a way to cook. The wheel, well, that revolutionized transport. And then came electricity, which basically wired our entire modern world. Saylor's big claim is that Bitcoin is the next step. It's the moment we finally harness digital energy.
So, Bitcoin as digital energy, a paradigm shift. Okay, but what does digital energy actually mean? Because it sounds cool, but it's not just some catchy phrase. It's a really specific idea about how value itself can move in our modern world.
So here's the best way to think about it. Saylor's analogy is this. Electricity gave us a way to send physical power through a wire. Well, he argues Bitcoin lets us send economic energy, or value, through the internet, instantly, across the globe, without asking anyone for permission. So in this model, it's not just another asset, it's the foundational layer for a completely new kind of economy.
The corporate adoption wave. From theory to treasury. Now you might be wondering, okay, that's a cool idea, but is it just a theory? And the answer is a big fat no. This concept is moving from academic papers right into corporate treasuries, and it's happening fast. And check out these numbers, because the speed of this is what's really mind-blowing. In 2020, there was literally just one public company holding Bitcoin on its balance sheet. One. Today, we're talking more than 180, and that list is growing all the time. This isn't just a trend, folks. This is an acceleration. It's a signal that there's a huge shift happening in corporate finance. And these companies aren't just winging it. They're following a very clear three-step playbook. First, they raise capital the old school way, by issuing equity or debt. Simple enough. Step 2, they take that money and immediately convert it into what they see as a better form of capital, Bitcoin. And then, here comes the endgame, Step 3. They use that digital capital as a base to create totally new financial instruments.
Battling the sonic boom, why new ideas create so much noise. Now, of course, when you have a change this big, this disruptive, it's not going to be quiet. You're going to get a ton of pushback, criticism, skepticism, what people in the space just call FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And Saylor has a really powerful analogy to explain why all that noise is happening.
He compares what's happening to a supersonic jet. You know when a jet breaks the sound barrier, you get that massive sonic boom, right? It's this huge, chaotic, loud shockwave. That happens because the jet is literally moving faster than the sound it's creating. Well, Saylor's point is that Bitcoin is that jet. The technology is evolving so incredibly fast that our traditional ways of thinking, our financial systems, our regulations, they just can't keep up. And all that noise, all that chaos and confusion, that's the sonic boom.
And what this really boils down to, as Saylor sees it, is a massive clash of paradigms. It's the 20th century versus the 21st century. The old way of thinking tries to judge this new technology using outdated frameworks. It gets totally obsessed with volatility and is just generally prone to all that fear and doubt. The new paradigm, on the other hand, tries to understand Bitcoin on its own terms, as a new protocol. It looks past the daily noise and sees the long-term, foundational shift that's happening. The Endgame, a new financial operating system. So where is all this heading? What's the ultimate goal here? Well, according to this vision, the endgame is not just about buying and holding an asset. It's so much bigger. It's about using that digital capital to build a completely new financial operating system for the entire world. And the key piece of this new system is something called digital credit. So think about financial products you already know, like bonds. But instead of being backed by a company's promise to pay you back, they're backed by a transparent, instantly verifiable pool of digital capital, Bitcoin. The idea is that it's hyper-liquid, totally transparent, and often over-collateralized, which could make it way stronger than what we have in the legacy system. And this brings us to the real bottom line, the core economic incentive.
The whole argument is that because this digital credit is built on a stronger, more transparent foundation, it can offer a much higher yield. So the question becomes pretty simple. Why would you settle for, say, a 4% yield in the old, opaque system when you could potentially get 10% or even more in this new, transparent system? That's the pull. That's the incentive that could drive massive adoption.
A protocol for all. Why this adoption actually benefits everyone. Okay, so a fair question here is this just a game for the rich and powerful to get richer? Well, the argument is that no, it's the exact opposite. It's what's known as a non-zero-sum game. The more people who join and adopt the protocol, the more valuable and useful it becomes for every single person who's already using it.
And his final analogy makes this crystal clear. He says Bitcoin is like the English language. If you speak English, you don't complain when a powerful bank or corporation also starts speaking English. In fact, you want them to. Their adoption makes the language more valuable. It creates more tools, more books, more movies, more opportunity for you. The argument is that Bitcoin is a monetary protocol, and just like with English, you want everyone to adopt it. Their participation just strengthens the network for all.
And so that really leaves us with one final massive question to chew on. For thousands of years, our technology for money has been, shiny metals or paper promises. This entire thesis suggests we are right in the middle of the first true protocol upgrade to money in centuries. So the real question is, what happens when that upgrade is finally complete? What does the world look like on the other side?